Hey y'all, this is part 2 of my Q&A. I have a Cadbury cream egg I'm about to eat. So Miss Maggie is down for tummy time, and I've already done this, but it was 18 minutes, so I just want to hurry it up a little bit more. Let me go on. The last question was from Leanne Langton Art. When did you start doing the YouTube videos, and was it Reborn first or something else? That was the last question on my other video. So the first question on this video is from my friend Brenda, Fairy Katie's Dolls. I can't remember if I asked before, but what are your thoughts on silicone reborns? Well, I love the fact that they're softer, but I've heard too many horror stories about the mouths ripping. I'm not sure if they're that gentle, they're that fragile, but I've heard stories about the mouth ripping, trying to force the bottle in so they can, they can drink and then it go through their system, and then I wish that they're just too expensive for me. Now, if somebody would give me one, which would never happen, I'd say, of course, I would take it, definitely. But to spend over $1,700 to $2,000 on a silicone, when there's so many other things in my life that I need. I've had the same couch for 11 years. I think almost 12 years. 12 years. And I would just do so much with the money. But if somebody would gift it to me, there are a few things that I don't like with the silicone. But I will tell you first the things that I do like. I love that they're soft. I love that they're lifelike. They look very real. I love that you can bathe them. Oh man, I would just love to bathe a full body silicone. Oh my gosh. I don't like the shiny ones. I don't like any shiny dolls. Like if I'm looking at a reborn, I can't have any shine anywhere on the doll because it makes me realize it's plastic and I want as much realism as I can. But to put powder on the babies and make them smell good, to make a silicone smell good after a bath and all that would make it the role play more real. Just give me 1 second. I have a drop leaf table and the middle kind of keeps them going in. There we go. Okay, there's a few things that I don't like is when I've seen a lot of videos where you take the arm out of the sleeve and you're not holding the arm securely and it goes like that. I don't like that at all because to me, I want to keep the most realism as you can in a doll and a reborn, and to have, a doll going with their foot, their limbs going like that is just like it's a bionic woman. I don't like that, and I don't like the fact that you can take the toes and fold it back and have them touch the heel because they're very flexible. I don't like them being that flexible because that's not realism to me. Now, I'm not for collecting as far as having a specific sculpt or a specific artist or a specific piece. I like the realism, like they're the most real reborn or doll that I could get in my criteria without spending too much. Again, like if somebody gifted me a doll, a silicone, which probably never happen, I would be tickled pink. I would love it. I would just be overjoyed and ecstatic. But to put that much money into a silicone, I can't do it. Not right now. Maybe not ever. It's a lot of money. So especially somebody like me who's on SSI and I have a lot of debt to pay, and to take that money and put it away, $300 a month, if I had that much money for 5 or 6 months, that's a lot of money. I could get a brand new couch for $400 or $500, So, but what I do like, but I do want is with Maggie, she has too much beating from me in her legs up to her knee. You can crunch it a little bit and you can hear it kind of crunching in there. I love her thighs because they're very soft and and flexible, and when you pinch them, they squeeze in, but not too much. I wish I had that kind of material for her face, that I could pinch her face a little bit and it would go in. I wouldn't want full total silicone, but if somebody could figure out how to do silicone and vinyl with the face, that it could go in, be a little bit squeezable and touchable and kissable, I would love that. So I don't know if that answers your question or not, but yeah, there's my likes, my dislikes, and yeah. So Polly's Princess Loves Reborns is, oh, fun! I'll participate. When did you start collecting reborns, and what drew you to this hobby? Well, I had the Ashton Drake doll cherished when I was 28 years old, but I had just broken out on my own. I was not even, what is it called? Disowned from my family yet. And I felt very weird and kind of ashamed and very shy, and I felt like that there was something wrong with me for having that doll. And now that I'm very independent and very on my own, and my opinion to anybody that has one, for me, that doesn't coincide. You know, if it's a rude opinion, it's just like, okay, that's your opinion, whatever you think. And that's the way I am now. But back when I was 28 and I just started in my own apartment, let's see, 1 second. 6 minutes, almost 7. It was a little weird for me. I didn't necessarily want to have my windows open all the time for somebody to see me with a baby up there. I was so self-conscious at that stage in my life, and I just moved out from my mom's house at the age of 28. I was a late bloomer, what you say. And if you really want to hear that story, because that's a great story, let me know. Wonderful story. And so yeah, Ashton Drake was my first, but a year before I got Benjamin, I talked to or put a post or message comment on Stephanie's channel, In Love with Reborn 2011, and Laura's little ex-loves. And I wasn't rude, but I wasn't nice either, and I told them that they were crazy for thinking that, to have dolls like that. And hold on, before you get your stones out and throw at me, hold on. Within the time frame that I got Benjamin and he came home to me, I both apologized to them on their channels and said, I don't know if you remember this, but I made a rude comment before and I just want to apologize to you, and da-da-da-da-da, which I'm glad I did. So technically I started collecting reborns 3 years ago this May with Benjamin. It's been 3 years. I think it's been 3 years with him. Yeah. So, okay. I hope I answered that. Let me go back to Dottie. This was a hard question, and I don't think that I could really ever appropriately answer this question because it's so difficult. But hey, girly, you're looking beautiful as always, so thank you. You do too. And my question is, what do you want to see happen in the reborn community? And there's no way around this. I want to stop seeing people beg for dolls. Stop asking somebody for their favorite reborn that they spent so much time in waiting for a layaway and or picking and choosing out what they want. And just because they're kids doesn't mean they can get away with it. Just because they're adults that haven't learned that they shouldn't do that shouldn't mean that they get away with it. I think that, just instead of saying, no, you can't have one, I think that to teach them, my grandmother would put her hand on one hip and put her finger out and kind of crook it like this and say, listen, you young lady here. And she would give me a lecture, but it was a lesson learned. So instead of just saying no or getting mad at them, I think that when people say, oh, can I have your reborn? I want your reborn. I want your doll. We really need to give these young kids a lesson, because if they have not grown up with that lesson, and we just say no and get mad at them, they're still not learning the lesson. So I think the older people, whether they're new in the community like myself, I still consider myself new even though I've been in for about almost 3 years. Has it been 3 years or has it been just 2 years? Okay, well, I got Maggie last June. And that Christmas before that, I got Lila. I think it's almost 3 years. But I think that to teach people in the reborn community that they just can't expect something for free, something for nothing. And they also can't get mad when somebody says no, because they think that they're privileged for whatever reason. All of us adults realize that when we want a reborn, we either have to work real hard to get it, we have to wait and we have to do a layaway, we have to do something to get a reborn. We just don't ask somebody and poof, it's there. So I think that we really need to teach the young people and the people in the community that just don't know any better, that just genuinely don't know any better than to just ask for a reborn. We need to teach them how to respect others, and we really need to teach them a lesson learned, not in a mean way, but just in a very, you just need to give them a little lesson, not because you think that you're holier than thou or that you think you're better, but because if you really want somebody else to not have that same question, same issue, you really need to be responsible for the younger people and say, excuse me, I don't know where you're coming from, but that's not an appropriate thing for you to ask me. And here's why, da-da-da-da-da. So that's one thing that I think that we really need to do and want to see happen in the reborn community. Another thing is, I think the Rose Doll Show should come to the East Cost. Ever? I can't go to Wyoming or Utah or California or Texas. I need them to come to New Jersey, to Pennsylvania, to Connecticut, to Virginia, to New York, on the East Coast. Come on. Rose Doll Show, East Coast. Yeah. That's definitely not the reborn community, but still that's what I want to happen. I want us to all to get wiser about buying reborns. That if somebody is about to buy a reborn and they're new to the community, that we would all step in and say, you can take my advice or not, but I've been in the community for a while. I bought so many reborns, and these are some kind of red flags that you're going to want to look out for. I think that we have to help those others, and you might be saying, why? They've never helped me. Well, at some point, everybody needs some help, right? And if you help somebody now, then later, when you need help, somebody else is going to help you back. And if you don't believe in that philosophy, then maybe the reborn community is not for you. That's just my take on it. But we really need to uplift each other and tell people how to look out for those scammers on Etsy, those scammers on eBay, the scammers on the Facebook groups. I'm a very picky reborn mom, buyer. I need to see, you know what, I think that, give me a minute. It's again about 14 minutes, so I'm going to do that video in just a minute. I'm going to enjoy my Cadbury egg and sit on the couch, watch some TV for about 10 minutes, play my Sims Free Play app, and then I'm going to come back on and tell you how I buy my reborns and the red flags that I look out for, because I think that is a very a good thing to talk about and to tell the signs that somebody might be a scammer. And whoever created that safety pick, love you. Don't know who you are, but whoever created the idea of having a safety pick, genius, awesome. So I love you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for the Q&A, and I hope that I answered all your questions, and if you have any more, you know where to find me. Alright guys, and I want to ask you one question, or two, or three. Now when I say reborn, that doesn't necessarily mean reborn. When I say reborns, that's talking about all kinds of dolls. Dolls that you collect, dolls that you get a really nice box opening with, whatever, Ashton Drake, Paradise Galleries, the Lala Loopsy doll, whatever you find interesting. What do you love doing best with your dolls? Do you love, just fill in the blank, what do you love doing best? What makes you most happy when you're with your babies? And I'm going to answer this right now. As for me, I love either late at night or early in the morning when I'm not yet fully awake. I go grab one of my babies and I'm in bed. I'm either playing on one of my apps or I'm just holding them and just having that special time with them when it's the quiet of the night or quiet in the morning and there's nobody stirring yet and there's nobody really awake and the sun's not peering into your windows yet. I love that quiet time. That's just my favorite time to be with my babies. I really love it. So that was my bonus answer. Love you so much. Talk to you soon. And I missed you so much. I miss you. I love you. Bye.